Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager in Wisconsin who shot 3 men, killing 2 and severely injuring the third, made his final pre-trial hearing today, and with a in-person appearance for the first time ever in Wisconsin courts. He appeared in person, but it was the final pre-trial hearing leading up to the eventual trial, which will happen sometime in November. This is a largely uneventful hearing with scheduling being worked out, some motion deadlines and stuff that we will go through, but it was a hearing in which he appeared, which was an opportunity for the media to repeat their opinions about this case as factual. And I'm here to talk about those opinions and to give you my opinion. Although, as you know, because of integrity, what I'm reporting on is my opinion about these events, my opinions about the legal case that is coming, my opinions about Kyle Rittenhouse's defenses to the alleged crimes. I'm not reporting to you as if this is all set in stone. I'm giving you my legal opinions and my personal opinions based on my experience and my biases which are pretty openly towards Kyle in this case. Now, let's jump in and see what the media is saying, and then we'll give our bits at the end of that. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer. I'm also a legal and political commentator on YouTube and on Odyssey. So wherever you're watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video, share it around so people know what's going on and get kind of an accurate idea of these major events. Okay, here we go. I've covered the Kyle Rittenhouse situation pretty extensively. I've got a playlist that you can find in the top right corner of this video, somewhere up here, and you can find that playlist, and it'll have a bunch of different videos on the subject on various aspects of the case. This one is going to be more focused on how the media is still treating this case. They are bloodthirsty for another trial, and specifically, I would humbly suggest a trial they plan to influence as much as possible, and certainly to sway public opinion to fit their own narratives. This is from ABC News. The article will be linked down in the description below. You can go ahead and click on it if you want, but I think you'll get an idea of the slant of this article from the tone right here. In the headline, it starts, Kyle Rittenhouse, Illinois teen who allegedly killed 2 protesters, makes first in-person court appearance. He allegedly shot marchers during August 25th protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin. These were not protesters and marchers. They were assailants. All 3 of the people that Kyle Rittenhouse shot were in the process of assaulting him. The question isn't even whether or not they were assaulting him. The question is whether the assaults and the response were justified under Wisconsin law. Whether Kyle provoked the assault, I will maintain in no way do we have any evidence that he provoked an assault that would get rid of his ability to defend himself. Believe it or not, you are not condemned to death even if you do provoke an assault. We'll get into that in a minute, but I don't believe he even provoked the assault based on any evidence I've seen. But then the next question is his response in using deadly force justifiable based on the assault that was occurring? He was chased down by all 3 of the assailants. The first one did not quite reach him. The second one actually did strike him with a skateboard after he had fallen down. And then the third one did what would be considered a war crime. He faked a sort of surrender. He said, whoa, 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 and acted like he was there to help Kyle, and then immediately pulls his gun, and Kyle ended up shooting him in the arm. That is the person who survived. So all 3 of these people were engaged in assaulting Kyle Rittenhouse during this encounter. They are no longer protesters and marchers at that time, in my humble opinion. But let's go on and see what's going on here. Kyle Rittenhouse, the Illinois man accused of killing 2 people during protests decrying the police shooting of Jacob Blake. By the way, that shooting was fully justified. A man committing multiple felonies who also had just had an altercation with police picks up a knife, refuses lawful orders, enters a vehicle with children in the back that he was taking without permission in a vehicle that he did not own and was taking without permission as well. He was shot. Yes, that was a justified shooting. It's been shown on the body camera footage and in other footage just how justified it was, but they were still protesting it. He made his first in-person court appearance on Friday. It was increased security for the 18-year-old's brief final pretrial hearing. It was his first time in person, as most of his legal proceedings during the pandemic have been virtual. Attorneys and prosecutors went over scheduling details in anticipation of Rittenhouse's November trial. They agreed on a deadline for motions on July 1st, and this will be very interesting. Seeing the motions that are going to come out, hopefully we will get dispositive motions moving for dismissal of all claims, but in particular, the claim that he is in unlawful possession of a firearm as a minor. As I have covered in another video, the law specifically exempts 16 and 17-year-olds from that provision when they are carrying a standard length barrel length shotgun or long rifle, which all of the evidence, all of the reports indicate that he was using a standard AR-15 style rifle with a standard barrel length. There is no sort of indication that he was using a short barreled rifle at the time, and thus that statute should not apply to him based on the plain reading of the text. So it'll be interesting to see if his defense team mounts a pretrial opposition to that in a motion, or if they decide to just take it to the jury. We will see by July 1st. Jury questionnaires by August 1st, and the next motion hearing set for September 17th. So that would be when, presumably, when those July 1st motions have been submitted, responded to, and then subsequently replied to after that. The motion hearing on those motions would be September 17th. Lawyers on both sides said the trial will take about 2 weeks. Online court records Friday revealed Rittenhouse retained another attorney in the case, Corey Carafisi. Rittenhouse was 17 when he left his hometown of Antioch, Illinois for nearby Kenosha, Wisconsin, 21 miles away, and allegedly shot and killed 2 protesters and wounded a third on August 25th. Leaving out the fact that he worked in Kenosha and was already there, he didn't have to leave his house to attend the protest because he was already in town following his work schedule. But the protests erupted after police shot Blake, a 21-year-old black father, in the back, and he was left paralyzed from the waist down. Listen to how they frame this. It's insanity. The news has just gone full on into denying reality. Jacob Blake, yes, was a 29-year-old black father, was taking the children and a car without permission, literally fought with police, refused tasers, refused a lawful order. After fighting with police, picked up the knife that he dropped while fighting with police, continued to refuse the lawful order, walked around, entered a vehicle. Look, when you're being detained by police officers and you attempt to enter a vehicle, the vehicle itself becomes a deadly weapon, and he may have had further deadly weapons in the vehicle. The police officers do not know. The reporting on this has been so abysmally bad, and these people have been fueling these sort of riot responses to these encounters. I mean, the Jacob Blake is one of the most clearly justifiable shootings you can find. Shooting him in the back. He was getting into the car. They're shooting him last second as he's getting into the car after attempting several times to just go ahead and arrest him. By the way, he also had a felony warrant. I mean, we can ignore that too. Rittenhouse and his attorneys have argued that he went to Kenosha to protect businesses amid the protests. Photos and video from the protest showed Rittenhouse carrying an assault-style rifle. What even is an assault-style rifle? This is a news story. It's an AR-15 style rifle, which stands for Armalite, not assault rifle, as the news seems to be unable to figure out. But an AR-15 style, it means the chassis of the rifle is styled after a very popular type. He is charged with first-degree reckless homicide, first-degree intentional homicide, and first-degree recklessly endangering safety in the fatal shootings of Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber during the August protests in Kenosha. He is also charged with attempted reckless homicide in a shooting that same night that left protester Gage Grosskreutz severely wounded. That's the guy who pretended to like, oh, whoa, no, I'm fine, and then drew his gun to literally kill Kyle while he's on the ground. Again, extremely justified self-defense shooting there, but whatever. Rittenhouse's attorneys have said the teenager was acting in self-defense when he allegedly shot all three men, citing multiple cell phone videos that they say show him being chased and attacked by protesters. According to a criminal complaint filed by prosecutors in the case, Grosskreutz allegedly moved towards Rittenhouse after putting his hands in the air and appeared to be holding a handgun in his right hand when he was shot. He didn't appear to be. He was holding a handgun. In the videos prosecutors presented at the preliminary hearing, Rosenbaum appeared to be chasing Rittenhouse and throwing something at him when he was shot, and Huber appeared to hit Rittenhouse with a skateboard. Jury selection for the trial is scheduled to begin November 1st. If convicted, he faces life in prison. Rittenhouse was released on $2 million bail raised by political conservatives who backed his stance against anti-police protesters. No! It's raised by people who go, this is injustice. This person shouldn't even be charged. He was clearly acting in self-defense. When you read the complaint from the state of Wisconsin, it reads like someone defending themselves. The entire trial is a sham. It's a political move. It's a political prosecution. The media has been complicit in it. It's absolutely ridiculous that they can keep running with this narrative and that they continue to run with it. That, oh, conservatives who are mad that he shot or happy that he shot protesters. Literally not the case. It's people who perceive the injustice of what is being done to him, raising the money and saying $2 million bail. This guy acted in self-defense, clearly in self-defense. Every video, it looks like self-defense. You can't find a video where he's provoking anyone. You can't find a video where he's acting as an aggressor. The videos open with him retreating from the person trying to do him harm. He doesn't even have a duty to retreat in Wisconsin, and he still retreats first. The first thing he does is try to run away, try to get away from the conflict. He only shoots Rosenbaum when he's no longer able to get away. Something he had no duty to even attempt, but did anyway. This is most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Kyle has a clear case of self-defense. Whether or not that case will be successful at trial is something to remains to be seen. I have not seen any compelling evidence that would negate his ability to plead self-defense successfully in this case. In all of the charges, of course, I've covered extensively the minor carrying a handgun charge does not apply, according to the language of the statute, to a long-barreled rifle or a long-barreled shotgun. It would apply to a handgun, a sawed-off shotgun, a short-barrel rifle, something like that. Yes, but not to a long-barreled rifle. So we'll have to see how that ends up working out. But that being said, I don't know, man. This is an opportunity for the media to expound upon their propagandized version of the events. And I mean, all of them surrounding Jacob Blake, extremely propagandized and biased reporting on this justified shooting of Jacob Blake. And then further, extremely biased and propagandized reporting on Kyle Rittenhouse's situation. And they should be embarrassed about this. But I wanted to bring you the updates. July 1st will be a really interesting date because we should see those motions come into play and we'll get to see what the defense's strategy is. And then sometime around September, we'll get to see how that works out. So we'll be watching, as always. If you're not familiar with all of the videos I've done on this case, make sure you catch the playlist that's linked at the end so that you can keep up on all of my legal and political musings on this particular case. It is a fascinating one, and it will really set the tone for how self-defense works in Wisconsin, for how juries play out in these sort of incidences, and how the media can shape public opinion and potentially even prejudice defendants in these types of cases. So until next time, have a good day. Peace.